Hey warriors, welcome back to the channel. You've been a hostage your entire life and you didn't even know it. Not to a person, not to a circumstance, to your own emotions. Every decision you make passes through a filter. Will this hurt? Will they leave? Will I be rejected? Will I lose what I have? And that filter controls you more effectively than any external force ever could. You stayed in relationships that drained you because you were afraid of being alone. You didn't take the risk because you were afraid of failing. You let people disrespect you because you were afraid of conflict. Your emotions aren't guiding you, they're imprisoning you. And the cruelest part, the people who control your life aren't smarter than you, more talented than you, or more deserving than you. They just figured out one thing you haven't: how to detach. They don't need your approval, so they have power over you. They don't fear your rejection, so you can't leverage them. They don't care about the outcome, so they move freely while you're paralyzed. Machiavelli wrote that everyone sees what you appear to be, few experience what you really are. But you've been doing the opposite. You've been wearing your heart on your sleeve, broadcasting every attachment, every need, every vulnerability, and it's destroying you. Stay with me, because I'm about to show you how to become emotionally untouchable, how to detach from everything without losing yourself. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you made a decision that wasn't contaminated by fear? Not fear of physical danger, fear of emotional pain, fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of failure, fear of judgment. Think about your last relationship decision, your last career move, your last confrontation, or the one you avoided. How much of that decision was based on what you actually wanted versus what you were afraid would happen? Be honest, because here's the truth that's going to cut deep. You don't make most of your decisions. Your fears make them for you, and your fears are being controlled by people who understand something you don't. They understand that the person who cares less has all the power. Not because they're better, not because they're more valuable, because they're detached. And detachment is the only true form of control. Think about your last romantic relationship, the one that destroyed you. Who had the power, you or them? If you're being honest, it was them, because they were willing to walk away, and you weren't. They could go days without texting. You counted the hours. They could cancel plans without explanation. You spiraled into anxiety, wondering what you did wrong. They could flirt with other people, and you'd feel your stomach drop. They'd watch you flirt, and barely react. Why? Not because they loved you less. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. It doesn't matter. What matters is they were detached from the outcome. They didn't need the relationship to feel whole. You did. And the moment you need something, you've given it power over you. Machiavelli wrote, "The prince must be a fox to recognize traps, and a lion to frighten wolves." You've been all lion. Raw emotion, visible attachment, heart on your sleeve, and every person who hurt you saw you coming from a mile away. They set the trap: withdrawal, hot and cold behavior, manufactured scarcity, and you walked right into it. Because you cared. And caring made you predictable. The fox doesn't fall for this. The fox watches, observes, detaches. The fox asks, what are they trying to make me feel, and why? But you never asked that question. You just felt, and feeling, without thinking, is how you become someone's puppet. Here's what most people will never understand about emotional mastery. It's not about eliminating your emotions. It's about severing the connection between what you feel and what you do. You can feel anger without acting on it. You can feel love without becoming enslaved by it. You can feel fear without letting it make your decisions. But you've been taught the opposite. You've been taught that authentic living means acting on every emotion, that suppressing feelings is toxic, that emotional expression is healthy, and all of that is true to a point. But past that point, it becomes a weapon someone else uses against you. Let me show you how this works in real life. You're in a meeting. Your coworker takes credit for your work in front of your boss. Your emotions spike: anger, betrayal, injustice. The person who's emotionally attached to the outcome reacts immediately. They confront the coworker right there, voice raised, face flushed, everyone uncomfortable. What just happened? They revealed their wound. They showed everyone exactly what bothers them. And now they look emotional, unstable, unable to handle workplace dynamics. The coworker, meanwhile, stays calm, apologizes smoothly. I thought we were presenting as a team. My mistake. Who looks professional? Who has the power? Not the person who cared more. The person who detached. Now imagine the same scenario with someone who's mastered emotional detachment. The coworker takes credit. You feel the anger. It's there, real, valid, but you don't act on it. You observe it. You let it exist without controlling you. You stay calm, silent. You let the moment pass. Then, after the meeting, you approach your boss privately, calm, measured, no emotion in your voice. I noticed some confusion in the meeting about project ownership. I want to make sure you have accurate information about who developed what. Here's the documentation. You're not accusing, not emotional, just providing clarity. What just happened? You got the outcome you wanted. Your boss knows the truth, without revealing your wound, without looking unstable, without giving your coworker any ammunition. That's detachment. That's power. Now before we go deeper, before I show you the exact framework for developing this level of emotional sovereignty, I need to know you're serious, because what I'm about to teach you will change every relationship you have. It will make you dangerous. It will give you the ability to move through life without being controlled by others' emotional manipulation, and that kind of power requires responsibility. Let's talk about why you got this way, why you care so much, why you can't detach, why your emotions control you instead of the other way around. It started in childhood. You were taught that love equals need, that if you love someone, you should need them, miss them, feel incomplete without them. You were taught that caring means being affected, that if you're not visibly upset, you must not care. You were taught that detachment equals coldness, that people who don't react strongly are emotionally unavailable, damaged, or sociopathic. All of this is conditioning, and it's designed to make you controllable. Think about how parents control children. They don't use logic, they use emotion. If you loved me, you'd do this. You're hurting me when you act like that. I'm so disappointed in you. These aren't rational arguments. They're emotional manipulation, and they work because children are emotionally attached to their parents' approval. The child who doesn't care what their parent thinks, uncontrollable. The child who desperately needs approval, compliant. Now fast forward to adulthood. Same dynamic, different players. Your partner uses emotional withdrawal to control your behavior. Your boss uses disappointment to extract unpaid labor. Your friends use guilt to monopolize your time. And it works, because you never learned to detach. Here's the framework that changes everything. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care without need. Read that again. You can care about someone without needing them to reciprocate. You can care about an outcome without being destroyed if it doesn't happen. You can care about your work without tying your identity to its success. This is the distinction most people never make. They think caring and needing are the same thing. They're not. Caring is a choice, an investment, a direction of energy. Needing is a dependency, a vulnerability, a loss of power. Let me show you what this looks like. You're dating someone. You care about them. You enjoy their company. You invest in the relationship, but you don't need them. If they leave tomorrow, you'll be sad, but you won't be destroyed. If they disrespect you, you'll walk away, not out of anger, out of standards. If they try to manipulate you emotionally, you'll see it clearly, because you're not blinded by need. This is detachment, and it's magnetic, because the person who doesn't need you is the person everyone wants, the person who's desperate, clingy, emotionally dependent, repulsive. Not because there's anything wrong with wanting connection, but because desperation broadcasts weakness, and humans are wired to move away from weakness and toward strength. Machiavelli wrote, "Men are driven by two principal impulses, either by love or by fear," but he left out the third category, the people who are driven by neither, the people who've detached from both the need for love and the control of fear. These people are ungovernable. You can't threaten them because they're not afraid of loss. You can't manipulate them with affection because they don't need your approval. You can't guilt them because they're not attached to your opinion of them. They move through the world like water, flowing around obstacles, never trapped, never desperate, never controlled. That's what you're becoming. Now let's talk about the specific techniques for building this detachment. The first one is the hardest, but it's the foundation of everything else. Kill your ego's need to be right. Your ego is the enemy of detachment because your ego needs things. It needs to be validated, respected, seen as competent, attractive, successful, and every need is a weakness someone can exploit. Here's how it plays out. Someone criticizes you in public. Your ego is wounded. You feel the need to defend yourself, prove them wrong, restore your image. So you engage, you argue, you explain, and in doing so, you reveal that their opinion matters to you. You've just handed them power. The detached response: you hear the criticism, you feel the ego wound. It's there, it's real, but you don't act on it. You pause, you observe the feeling without being controlled by it. Then you respond or don't respond based on strategy, not emotion. Maybe you ignore it completely, denying them the reaction they wanted. Maybe you agree partially, disarming them by not fighting. Maybe you redirect. Interesting perspective. What would you do differently? Notice what you didn't do. Defend, explain, justify. Because the person who's emotionally detached doesn't need to be right. They only need to be effective. The second technique: observe your patterns like a scientist. Most people are slaves to their emotional patterns because they don't even see them. They just react. Same triggers, same responses, same outcomes. But you're about to become different. Starting today, you're going to watch yourself like you're watching a character in a movie. When someone does something that triggers you, don't just react, observe the reaction. Interesting, they cancelled plans and I immediately feel anxious. Why? What am I afraid of? Am I afraid they don't like me? That I'm being rejected? That I'm not important? You're not judging the feeling, you're studying it. And the moment you study it, you create distance from it. It's no longer I am anxious, it's I am observing anxiety occurring in my system. That distance is detachment, and it's everything. Let me give you a real scenario. Your partner says, "We need to talk." Immediate emotional spike, panic, dread. They're going to break up with me. Old you spirals immediately, texts back frantically. What's wrong? Are you okay? Did I do something? You've just revealed your fear, your need, your attachment. New you observes the panic. My nervous system is interpreting this as a threat. Interesting, but I don't have any actual information yet. You text back, "Sure." When works for you? Calm, neutral, detached. Not because you don't care, but because you're not going to make decisions from a place of panic. And here's what happens when you do this consistently. People stop being able to manipulate you, because manipulation requires predictable reactions. If someone knows that "we need to talk" will make you spiral, they can use that whenever they want control. But when you don't spiral, when you stay calm, detached, waiting for actual information, they lose their leverage. And either they respect you more, or they leave. Either way, you win, because you're no longer giving your power away. Now if you're still watching, you're starting to feel it. The shift, the possibility, the freedom that comes from realizing you don't have to be controlled by your emotions. And if this is landing, if you're seeing your past relationships, your career struggles, your patterns in a new light, do me a favor right now. Hit that like button, because we're about to go even deeper. And what comes next will show you how to use detachment, not just defensively, but as an offensive weapon. Let's talk about the power move most people never learn: strategic emotional display. This is where detachment becomes dominance. Because once you've mastered the ability to control your emotional reactions, you can start choosing when to display emotion, not because you feel it, but because it serves a purpose. This is advanced, this is Machiavellian, and this is how the most powerful people in the world operate. Here's the concept. Authentic emotional expression is vulnerability. It gives people information about what you care about, what hurts you, what moves you. But strategic emotional expression is a weapon. It's calculated, intentional, deployed to achieve a specific outcome. The difference is detachment. The person who's emotionally attached displays emotion involuntarily. They can't help it. The person who's emotionally detached displays emotion tactically. They choose when, where, and how much. Let me show you how this works. You're negotiating a salary. The number they offer is insultingly low. Emotionally attached response. Visible anger. Are you serious? That's not even close to market rate. I can't believe you'd offer that. You've just revealed your wound. They know you're offended. They know you're desperate for more. They have leverage. Strategically detached response. You feel the anger, but you don't show it. Instead, you show disappointment. Calm, measured. I appreciate the offer. Unfortunately, that number doesn't align with my market value or the scope of responsibilities we discussed. I'm looking for something closer to X. If that's not feasible, I understand, but I'll need to explore other options. What just happened? You deployed emotion, disappointment, potential withdrawal. But from a position of detachment. You're not angry, you're not begging, you're just calmly stating reality and your boundaries, and because you're detached from the outcome, you're willing to walk away. That willingness, that's power. Or think about relationships. Your partner does something hurtful, not a deal breaker, but not acceptable either. Emotionally attached response, immediate confrontation, tears, raised voices. How could you do this? Don't you care about me? You've just revealed how much their action affected you. You've given them the satisfaction of seeing you hurt. Strategically detached response. You feel the hurt, deeply, but you don't give them the emotional display they're expecting. Instead, you go quiet, distant, not cold, just observant. When they ask what's wrong, I'm processing something. I'll let you know when I'm ready to talk. Now they're anxious. They're wondering what you're thinking. They're trying to read you. The power dynamic just shifted because you detached from the need to immediately express your pain. This is the ultimate Machiavellian principle. It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both. Not because you should make people fear you, but because respect comes from unpredictability. The person who's emotionally reactive, predictable, controllable. The person who's emotionally detached, mysterious, powerful. People don't know what you're thinking, what you're feeling, what you'll do next, and that uncertainty creates respect, caution, fascination. Now let's talk about the hardest part of detachment. Detaching from outcomes you desperately want. This is where most people fail, because it's easy to detach from things you don't care about. But detaching from the job you really want, the relationship you're invested in, the goal you've worked toward for years. That's mastery, and here's how you do it. You separate your identity from the outcome. Most people think, if I get this job, I'm successful. If I don't, I'm a failure. If they love me back, I'm worthy. If they don't, I'm not. If this business succeeds, I'm valuable. If it fails, I'm worthless. That's emotional attachment. Your sense of self is tied to external results, and as long as that's true, you'll never be free. The detached perspective. I want this job. I'll prepare thoroughly. I'll perform well. But my worth isn't determined by whether I get it. I care about this person. I'll invest genuinely. But my value isn't determined by whether they choose me. I'm building this business, I'll give it everything. But my identity isn't determined by whether it succeeds. You see the difference? You still care, you still try, you still invest, but the outcome doesn't own you. And when the outcome doesn't own you, you perform better, because you're not paralyzed by fear of failure. You're free to take risks, make bold moves, walk away when necessary. Let me give you a real example. You're interviewing for your dream job. Final round. Emotionally attached mindset. I need this. If I don't get it, I don't know what I'll do. I have to perform perfectly. I can't mess this up. What happens? You're nervous, overthinking, trying too hard. They sense your desperation. You don't get the job. Detached mindset. I want this, but I'll be fine either way. I'm here to show them who I am. If it's a fit, great. If not, something better is waiting. What happens? You're calm, confident, authentic. They're impressed by your composure. You get the job, or you don't, but you leave with your dignity intact and your confidence unshaken. This is what Machiavelli meant when he said, "The wise man does at once what the fool does finally." The fool eventually learns detachment after being hurt enough times, rejected enough times, manipulated enough times, but by then they're bitter, closed off, damaged. The wise man learns it now, before the pain forces it, and because they learn it consciously, strategically, they don't become cold, they become free. So how do you practice this? Start small. The next time someone cancels plans, don't react emotionally. Observe the disappointment, then respond with detached grace. No problem. Let me know when you're free. The next time someone criticizes you, don't defend immediately. Pause, breathe, decide if the criticism has merit or if it's just noise. The next time you want something badly, a response to a text, a job offer, a person's approval, practice wanting it without needing it. Say it out loud. I want this, but I'll be fine without it. It sounds simple. It's not, because your ego will scream, your emotions will resist, your conditioning will fight you. But every time you choose detachment over reaction, you're building the muscle. And over time, that muscle becomes your default. Let me tell you what happens when you master this. You become unmanipulable. People try the old tactics on you, guilt trips, emotional withdrawal, manufactured drama, and they don't work, because you're not attached to their approval, their affection, their opinion. You become undeniable. In negotiations, relationships, career moves, you have the upper hand because you're always willing to walk away. And the person who's willing to walk away has all the power. You become magnetic because detachment creates mystery, and mystery creates fascination. People can't figure you out, can't predict you, can't control you, and that makes you unforgettable. But here's the final truth, the one most people miss. Detachment isn't about not caring, it's about caring wisely. It's about investing your emotions in things that deserve them and withholding them from things that don't. It's about loving without losing yourself, pursuing without being desperate, engaging without being enslaved. It's about becoming the kind of person who can feel deeply but chooses when, where, and with whom. Machiavelli wrote, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." When you master detachment, you control what people see. They see calm, confidence, self-possession, but they don't see the depth of what you feel, the intensity of what you care about, the complexity of who you are. That's reserved for the few who earn it, who prove they're worthy, who respect your boundaries. Everyone else gets the version of you that's polished, strategic, detached, and that version is untouchable. So here's your choice. You can continue living as an emotional hostage, reacting to every trigger, controlled by every attachment, manipulated by everyone who learns your patterns. Or you can become sovereign, someone who feels without being enslaved, who cares without being controlled, who engages without being exploited. someone who moves through life with the calm certainty that no external outcome can destabilize their internal peace. If you're ready, if you're done being the one who cares too much while everyone else stays detached and wins, subscribe right now. Drop a comment below telling me the one thing you're going to detach from this week. The person, the outcome, the need that's been controlling you. And share this with someone who's still trapped. Because the world needs fewer emotional hostages and more people who understand real power. One last thing before I let you go. Detachment doesn't mean you become cold. It doesn't mean you stop loving, stop caring, stop feeling. It means you stop letting those feelings make you weak. You can love someone deeply and still walk away if they disrespect you. You can care about an outcome intensely and still be okay if it doesn't happen. You can feel the full spectrum of human emotion and still make decisions from clarity instead of chaos. That's mastery. The people who hurt you weren't stronger than you. They were just more detached. They didn't care more about themselves. They just cared less about controlling you through your emotions. And now you're going to do the same. Not to hurt anyone, not to be cruel, but to be free. Because freedom is the foundation of all power. And power isn't about dominating others. It's about never being dominated. So go. Detach from the outcomes you can't control. Detach from the people who don't deserve your emotional investment. Detach from the need to be understood, approved of, or validated by anyone who hasn't earned that privilege. And watch what happens. Watch how people start treating you differently, with more respect, more caution, more fascination. Watch how opportunities open up because you're no longer desperate. Watch how relationships improve because you're no longer needy. Watch how your own mind becomes quiet, calm, sovereign. That's detachment. That's dominance. That's Machiavelli. And that's you, if you choose it.